after the Pledge of Allegiance, please stand for a moment of silence for Fire Police Officer Dennis Wetzel, who passed this week.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Moving on to roll call.
Ronald Knuff.
Present.
Kenneth Hall.
Present.
Bonnie Allman.
Here.
Trevor Stone.
Here.
Ronald Glassick.
Present.
Judith Haldeman.
Here.
Jason Donahue.
Here.
Mason Smolinek.
Here.
Julia Kutzler.
Here.
Mayor Anthony Pristash.
Present.
Thank you. Have approval of the minutes of the public workshop meetings held on April 4th, 2024, and the regular public meeting held on April 18th, 2024.
Approved as presented.
Motion made by Mr. Glassick. Can I have a second? By Mr. Hall. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we move on to hearing of persons present. If anyone has anything to say, step forward. Just state your name. We don't need your address anymore.
I'm Pat Knuff. I'm the manager of the Northampton Farmers Market. I just wanted to thank Mayor Pristash and Councilwoman Almond and Councilman Knuff for coming to the opening and the ribbon cutting for the market opening. It was a very successful day according to my vendors, even though the weather didn't cooperate very well, but my vendors said they did well, so I'm looking forward to a great season this year if everybody stops by. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Yes, sir.
My name is Jose Carrero, and I'm at 309 Kings Bonds Lane.
Sir, if you want to stay there, it's okay. If it's too difficult.
Okay.
Speak loud, though.
Okay. I've been, my wife and I have been emailing K Builders for some issues that we have in my property. We settled the house in November of 2022, and I just got to move in September, ending of August, September. But there's issues with my backyard. It has a trench in it, and then it's accumulating a lot of water. It's like a swamp. And my driveway also is collapsing. And we've been emailing these K Builders for quite some time now, and texting back and forth, and it's falling on deaf ears. They keep telling us that it's not part of the warranty, but we don't even have a car on it because my wife works in New York. She only makes it up here on weekends. And so for them to tell me that, it's like, you know. So I'm just trying to get this thing resolved, and I'm coming to you guys. And I'm disabled. I don't even go out to my house to the front. I always exit to the garage. I can't walk. So I don't know who else to turn to or where to go. My neighbor Wiley and Dave are here.
Okay. Okay, I don't need to, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, what's happening with this driveway, a lot of people in.
Well, what's your name, please, for the record?
Oh, Wally.
Wally,
Waleska. Everybody calls me Wally.
Wally what?
Lajes, L-A-Y-E-S.
Okay.
Where we live at, a lot of people having issues with their driving, that they're sinking. But it's sinking, and people have gotten injured, but they have tripped over it. So it's sinking from one side, now expanding to the other side, and now that's going into his walkway to his house. That is caving, I call it caving in, it's going in. It's a safety issue. When K Builders came in, because me and my husband were there, they told them that in spring, she showed it to them. And they said, oh yes, it is an issue, that they will fix it in the spring. Now they're going back on their word, but it's getting worse. It's an issue going through the driveway, and it's an issue going to the entrance of his house. And, you know, they're going back and forth, but they are fixing people's driveway, but they're giving him a hard time. And they said they were gonna fix it, and he's just, you can see, he's disabled. So,
I was just gonna say, sir, your address again, please?
309 Kings Bonds Lane.
Kingsborn. This absolutely is a K-Builders issue, but we don't mind reaching out on your behalf. There's not much we can,
Well,
you
so
know, it's,
Can we ask if we also get our engineering, Gilmore and Associates, just to have some more support for them, and then we could bill that to K Builders if it turns out it is their fault? They're gonna say that what gives us the
the
right to say
billing,
it's wrong.
that's very, speculative. I'll just say the billing end of things would be speculative as to whether or not we'd be able to bill it to them. But we will reach out on your behalf, just to,
Good, thank you.
Yeah, that would not be Gilmore, that would be Lehigh Engineering.
Okay, I didn't know.
Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else? Under President's report, I have nothing for this meeting. Mayor's report.
Well, good evening, everyone. Pat, thank you for, again, managing the farmer's market. It was a nice time. Ron, the new hot dog king of Northampton, I know Potsy's gonna have a little competition now, so it was well attended, and everyone that was there had a nice time. So, again, thank you. I look for bigger and better things as the weather cooperates more with you, so very enjoyable. Secondly, you're gonna see much more activity down at the Canal Park as we're putting in 3 new gardens down there. One is a Eagle Scout project. Another is a donation to emulate Reverend Jerry Mraz's park, and the other is the Riverfront Park. So pacing everything out with our Public Works Department. We're gonna be laying the soil soon this week. And then the people are gonna come in and do some work as far as the plantings are concerned. So we're looking for a good bloom throughout the summer and much more picturesque walking on the trail. I know lots going on down there. We do have in the bank the thought of refurbishing the trail and picking up some of the trouble we've had over the years with the wear and tear on the trail. So that's been a priority for the borough, so we're looking to make those improvements sooner than later. And then just the fact that the population down the trail is picking up exponentially week after week. It's fun to see that, and from there, the people are coming up to support our local businesses, which is also very important. And we'll just continue on and look forward to getting everything tightened up down there as far as the foliage and the picturesque walk that trail is going to be. We're very fortunate for that park, and as well as other sites in Northampton. It's going to be a very colorful summer, I truly believe. And I want to shout out to some of our friends who are on a mission in Biloxi, Mississippi, who are tuning in tonight. They're doing a church mission. So the joy of our live streaming is reaching all the way down to the Gulf states this evening. So hope everybody's having a good time down there on the church mission. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on, Solicitor's report.
I have nothing this evening.
Nothing. Reports from committees. I get myself lost. Okay, yeah. Administration and Finance, Mr. Hall.
Thank you. Excuse me. A list of delinquent refuse accounts is being prepared to forward to Port Norfolk Law Associates for collection. Ed Rupani is in the midst of having 5th grade students tour the Atlas Museum. 109 people viewed the May 2nd council meeting. And on May 22nd from 9 to 11:30, Susan Wild's team will be hosting a mobile office hours at the Northampton Recreation Center. End of report.
That's May 21st.
May 21st, my bad, May 21st.
9 to 11:30. Building land, thank you, Mr. Hall. Building land and recreation, Judy Haldeman.
Thank you. Enclosed in everyone's packet is a letter from the AARP thanking the Borough Recreation Center for their use of their facility during tax season, and they certainly gave them kudos. They always work well together, and I believe they do plan on being back there again next year. The Borough Pool is tentatively scheduled to open on Saturday, June 1st. However, this date may change due to the swim club holding their last event on that same day. Will that be on the Borough website, Leroy, if you make a
Yes.
decision? Okay.
We should be able to open, but many of the staff are involved in the swim club, and that's their last big hurrah. We should have enough to open.
Okay. Season pool passes are still available for purchase at the Recreation Center only. The Farmers Market opened on Tuesday, May 14th, and will be open every Tuesday from 3 to 6 p.m. They have both pavilions are now occupied. Wheels on the Canal will be held on Saturday, May 18th, from 10 to 4, with a rain date of Sunday, May 19th. End of report.
Thank you. Code and Police, Mr. Stone.
Yes, thank you. We received the code income report for April 2024. The compliance rate is 91.98%. That is about 493 out of the 536 rental properties. We also received the concern status report for code enforcement, and there still seems to be 5 in progress in the report.
Thank you. Fire and Health, Mrs. Almond.
Thank you. Enclosed in the packets this evening are the health officer's report and the minutes from their April meeting. And if I could just give you a summary of the health report, the ongoing license renewal program and review of food employee certification is occurring. There were 5 license renewals for the month of April. The paw prints on the canal is scheduled for June 9th. Renovations have been completed at the new location of the Galeon's Deli, which had been previously the new Northampton Seafood. The facility is continuing their deli operation and also adding seafood to their menu. And consulted with an individual proposing to operate a licensed establishment at the former Edelweiss House. That's the end of the health officer report. On Tuesday, May 14th, Fire Chief Noblock attended the TAC officer training. And if I could just let you know the Fire Police monthly report for the month of April. There were 19 fire calls, MVAs were 11, and EMS assist 9. That is the top 3 of a total of 51. End of report.
Thank you. Public Works and Sewer, Mr. Glassick.
Thank you. Mr. Brose was informed by Public Works Supervisor Richard Ackerman that a large piece of play equipment was vandalized at the municipal park. According to the report, the damage would seem to have been caused by a much older child or adult. A meeting was held by the Borough Manager's Office on Wednesday, May 8th, with the representatives of the Northampton Borough Municipal Authority, Wastewater Treatment Plant Supervisor Scott Gillespie, Councilman Judy Haldeman, and who also serves on the Water Authority Board. Brian Welsko and Mr. Brobes were present. The discussion centered around the sludge handling, and we actually are looking at a new piece of machinery about that, so it is already in process. Thank you, and the report.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to any unfinished business. None? Under new business, consider the request of the Northampton Fire Department.
Northampton Fire Department is requesting permission to conduct their annual firefighters parade on Saturday, July 20th, in conjunction with Community Days Fair, and will use the same route as last year. They are requesting that the Recreation Center parking lot and Clear Springs Drive be closed off beginning at noon until the end of the parade.
Do I have a motion to affirm this request?
Motion made.
By Mr. Donahue,
Second.
by Ms. Almond. Questions? No questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider request of the Ruth Miller Agency, Bob's Flower Shop, and R. Walters Upholstery.
Several businesses in the 1200 block of Main Street are requesting a change in the parking on the west side of Main Street in the area of the business at the Triangle, in the intersection of Main Street and Laubach Avenue. They're requesting that between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, the parking will be limited to 1 hour. I would suggest that we forward this to the police chief to make a recommendation.
Oh, okay, got it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve this? To,
Approve it being
Approve.
forwarded.
I make a
as
motion.
read,
I make a motion.
Red, yes.
as read. Ms. Solomon,
Second.
second by Mr. Stone. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider the request for an Eagle Scout project.
Boy Scout Nathan Panny, I assume you're Nathan Panny, of Troop 93 in Northampton, is requesting permission to refresh the gazebo and surrounding areas at the Canal Street Park. A list of his project tasks are included in your packet. It might be helpful, if allowed, to have him answer any questions that you might have.
That would be allowed. Do I have a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Stone,
Second.
second by Ms. Haldeman. Questions?
Yeah, question. So are you gonna be needing help with supplies then for this?
Wait, if you would like, you can come to the microphone.
So for the bridge, like the little bridge, we need 2x4s and to like clean up the gazebo for pressure washing it, like a water tank or something. I'm not sure what it would be.
Speak up.
It's a little bit.
Speak up.
Use your
We're
outdoor
not gonna
voice.
hurt you,
It's fine,
don't
it's
be
fine.
afraid.
I don't know what it would be, but it's like a large supply of water so we can pressure wash the gazebo, and we would replace some of the rocks, pick the weeds out of them.
Okay. Any more questions?
Will we be able to provide help to this
Yes.
young man? So,
He would be responsible for directing anything that, and everything that goes on there, but if, you know, if he needs water supply or anything like that, we can help. Okay.
When are you planning on starting?
Hopefully soon. I'm not exactly sure, but we're hopefully,
Ballpark?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you doing any fundraising to support the project?
I'm planning on it. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet, but yeah, I'm planning on it.
Please reach out and let us know what you're doing.
if you can maybe make a detailed list of everything that you would need that we might be able to help you with,
Alright.
all right?
Yeah, when you're ready to begin, just come to my office and see me, and we'll get you started.
So in regards to refreshing the surrounding areas, is that like the flower, the landscaping around it? Like, would you be putting new mulch in there and weeding?
Yeah, like picking all the weeds, we replace some of the rocks.
Okay, thank you.
Have you received approval yet for this project from the Mincy Trail Council?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
That would be a good idea to get that. But this would be the first step.
Yeah.
My grandson just finished an Eagle project, so I have a little familiarity with it.
Again, the other Butterfly Garden Station is an Eagle Scout project. Probably if you
Oh,
were
my.
Yeah.
Yes, we got 2 Eagle Scout projects going on down there. It's fantastic.
Nathan, stay away from him.
He'll give you a whole bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah, they're behind on the bridge. You gotta help jump in on that too.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
All right, take care,
Nathan,
Nate.
thank
Good
you
luck.
again for stepping up for our borough. I appreciate that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, consider reappointment to the UCC Board of Appeals.
Joseph Billy is requesting to be reappointed to the UCC Board of Appeals for another 5-year term.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Stone, do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Knopf? Any questions?
Question, is it, did you say a 5-year term?
On the, it's a they're offset, I believe. His term would be a 5-year term.
Thank you.
That board in the last 30-odd years has met once,
Okay.
but we need to have it.
Okay.
Can I ask what UCC is?
UCC is Uniform Construction Code. If someone comes here and would want to do some work, and key codes would say, no, it's not in compliance with the Uniform Construction Code, this person could ask for a hearing before the board to ask for, for allowance to proceed.
Thanks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 5, consider request for the handicap parking space.
Okay. We have received a request for a handicap parking space from a resident in the area of 14th Street. And that is, let's see, West 14th Street. The police chief has reviewed it and recommends rejecting the request.
Do I have a motion to reject this request?
Make a motion.
By Mr. Knopf, do I have a second?
Second.
By Ms. Almond? Any questions?
Question, Chief, if I can ask you, are you just saying that there is only, they have one parking spot available to them in the back? And they only have one car?
No, they have to.
I don't even know if, I know the person. I didn't even know he lived there with her. But there is room in the back of their lot. And he's stating he can't walk more than, 200 feet?
Yeah.
200 feet's like, what, 60 yards?
And the parking area is approximately 40 feet from the house.
Yeah. So he's only, and you have apartments right on the corner also, and it's hectic there to begin with.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Number 6, consider request for parking restriction adjustment.
At the May 2nd council meeting, the police chief was asked to do a parking study in the 2100 block of Main Street. His recommendation consists of keeping 2 parking spaces, that would be in the area of the alley or the barber shop, removing the 1-hour and 2-hour parking signs. The specifics are listed in his recommendation, which would be to keep the 15-minute parking in the area of the flower shop, and the signs at the barber shop would be 1-hour parking Tuesday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That in a nutshell.
Thank you. What is the opinion of council? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Make a motion by Mr. Knopf. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Ms. Almond? Any questions?
Question, do you have a comment?
Yes,
If
I
we
do.
may ask her at least what this was about, or can we?
They should have
They
spoken.
should not know. That was time at persons heard.
What?
But when we asked for persons to come forward,
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought I had to go into the agenda when it came up.
no. What is your question? But-
I appreciate the consideration of what you're doing. I just have one concern, is that there are 2 chairs in that barber shop. I would appreciate if we could just do 3 parking spaces in the front of the barber shop.
No, we're gonna stick with this, what we're doing here. Thank you.
Excuse me, Chief, do you have any comments on?
Yeah, the recommendations that I did make were basically for consideration of everybody in the neighborhood, the other residences, and there are other hair places in
Right.
town that have multiple chairs and they don't have any designated spots. So what I did was try to find a balance here. I realized she requested 3,
Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good explanation.
Attorney has a question.
I haven't had the opportunity to review your ordinance, but I'm assuming that this would require a revision of an existing ordinance?
Some of it, yes.
Yeah, so I think the motion would have to be to draft an ordinance, to accept the recommendation and draft an ordinance for passage at a subsequent meeting.
You're what she said.
The motion is to,
We have to get the
that was easy enough.
To
people who
accept the
made the motion
recommendation.
to
Yeah. Accept the
Okay,
recommendation.
okay, with the people who made the motion, Mr. Knopf, Ms. Almond,
Yes, for me.
Yes.
to withdraw that motion?
Well, not
So you
withdraw,
can amend the
to
motion.
modify.
Amend it?
Amend the motion.
Amend the motion. To
Draft an ordinance.
to draft an ordinance.
Right, to accept the recommendation of Chief Kadingo and draft an ordinance to make the recommended changes.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, we already got that.
Yeah. So, okay, we have a motion.
And a
A
second.
second,
We're ready to vote.
Okay.
question?
Ready to vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I lost another page here. Second page, got to. Number 7. Okay, moving on to number 7. Consider the change to the civil service ordinance.
Police Chief Kadingo is requesting that the language requiring the completion of Act 120 training required by Municipal Officers Education and Training Commission be removed from the existing language in the Civil Service Ordinance. This will allow Northampton Borough Council the flexibility to decide to accept a non-Act 120 individual for consideration for employment.
This would require a similar motion to accept the recommendations of Chief Kadingo and draft an ordinance incorporating these changes for passage at a future meeting. If anybody would like to make that motion.
I make a motion to accept his recommendation and also draft
The ordinance.
An amendment to the ordinance.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Almond, second by Mr. Glassig. Question?
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I already discussed this with the chief, and he's probably gonna take a swing at me when we're done. But in order to hire this person that the civil service would recommend, that person will need Act 120 certification. And the chief assures me that there are funds available out there to take care of this, but if there are not, it would be the borough's responsibility to pay for the Act 120's training.
And how much is that?
Oh, the chief has a rebuttal.
Well, listen, the fact is, everybody's fully aware of the recruitment is next to impossible. There's state reimbursement for the academy fee, which the last I knew was about $7,500. But we have to look at something to be competitive here. You have departments that are doing lateral transfers with time served, departments that are doing signing bonuses, pension, putting money into their pension for them. This doesn't mean council would have to hire somebody like that, but should there become a need, if we see that there's, if we get 1 or 2 applicants, that you could decide to open it up to other people. But yes, there is some state money available for academy reimbursement, but unfortunately, it may have to head that way because a lot of the other departments are doing it.
So, question if I may.
Yes.
If we pay for them to go to take the Act 20, can we require them to sign on, just like we are for training, that stay with us if we get a CDL license and things like that?
Well,
If they
that's
stay
what
with,
I I might have mentioned it in the letter, if I didn't, I apologize, but that would be where we would, obviously with the advice of the solicitor, there are civil contracts that municipalities engage with that employment as far as you must complete the academy, you must provide minimum number of years of service,
Okay.
or you shall repay that amount. It's
Okay.
very common.
That's what
It
we're.
is very
That's actually
common, and I have drafted those before for the
Yeah, you
municipalities.
did, yeah, I
The
read.
chief and I have had conversations about this, and it's not a devil-may-care thing. It's really restricted what we would do as far as bringing the person in. It wouldn't just be an automatic, we're hiring you. As the chief said, not only are there funds available, but it's going to be a person-by-person issue who's coming in. But it does open us up to a wider margin, a wider expanse of candidates that we can have, that we're missing out on because virtually all the other forces are plucking them first because we're behind on this. So I recommend that council do approve this, and it'll be on a person-by-person review when we do have a situation.
That's
So,
well.
thank you.
May I ask
I just wanted to make everyone aware of this. I'm not saying yay or nay, I'm just saying that that possibility does exist.
question also,
Yes.
please? Is, when they do the reimbursement, is it a 100% reimbursement, or is there some type of, so if we're paying about $7,500 potentially to send someone to the academy, and you're saying it's a state reimbursement, is it $7,500 back?
I don't know for sure. The last I was aware of was at least 75, but I did not research that far. I wanted to get council's decision because, again, this does not mean you have to accept the non-Act 120, but it's available to you, and I planned on researching that because taking into consideration the time to draft an ordinance, to amend the existing ordinance, the advertisement, that would give me some breathing room to get some more statistics together for you guys and options.
So clarify, I'm sorry, because I'm 75%, or you just looked into and it would be about $7,500 for the academy? You don't know the
last I heard about the CAT, which again, I can research
Right,
all that,
right,
that's
yeah.
approximately 7,500.
Right, but you don't have any idea of what the reimbursement rate might come from the
Last I
state?
heard that it was 75%.
75%,
of that,
thank you,
on that.
okay. 75%
But
that.
I would like to be able to get that in boilerplate for you guys to decide on.
I respect that that needs to be taken into consideration, but I think that that should definitely be researched. I mean, obviously, if you can get that type of reimbursement for it, that makes sense. Then it's not money coming out of the coffers. Is that correct, Leroy? Then we would only be responsible for what is not covered, 25%. Okay.
That's not too bad.
But it opens up the amount of candidates you have coming in now.
Yeah, much more flexibility.
Okay.
Okay.
Gives
Thank
you an option that you don't currently have.
No further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider hiring seasonal employees.
Enclosed in your packet is a list of seasonal employees for the pool and public works summer help.
You've had time to review this. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, and Leroy, thank you. That's a very healthy list for the pool. And the Public Works, it's nice to see some returning names there too, so thank you very much for that, but I definitely make a motion.
Yeah, I went over this with both Public Works Supervisor for the road crew guys and the manager that we're proposing.
Yeah.
And they also were confident that they can make this work.
Olivia did a fine job at the pool
Oh, yeah.
last year.
Yes,
She
she did.
absolutely did, and hopefully we're gonna get back Mr. Tootal
Yeah,
as a bouncer, because again, I heard very good feedback from him. And I bump into his grandparents every once in a while, and when they speak about him with pride, he is a fine young man and also takes that job very seriously, so let's hope we can scoop him back up again this year too. Thank you.
He's not specifically listed on this list, but he is part of the
Good.
picture.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a second on this?
Second.
By Mr. Glassick. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Consider appointing 2 public works crew chiefs.
The Public Works and Sewer Committee interviewed for the crew chief position and recommends appointing 2 crew chiefs. First is Mitro Hukalik, who is with us tonight. The second is Andrew Martson, who has a family matter going on tonight and could not make it. Both of them interviewed very well, and their position would become effective tomorrow, May 17th.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
Motion.
Who wants it?
Everybody.
Everybody wants it, that's a good thing. Kenny Hall, Mr. Hall, we'll take that. He didn't get one tonight. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Donahue, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Here's Mitro.
Congratulations, Mitro. Well deserved.
Okay. We move on to reports from council members, starting with Mr. Knopf.
Question about the damage to the parks. Take notice there's maybe one sign that I see with age group on the apparatuses. Are they in all parks?
With an age group listing, I don't believe they are. But the one that does have it is the one across the street, and that's where the damage occurred.
Right. Like I said, I didn't take notice of any other at the park. So I know the sign says 6 AM to 10 PM. Maybe we have to reroute just the playground route to 8 o'clock for the children.
You're saying over at the playground, I'm not, it's not computing with me, so what if you're at a
Well,
picnic?
It's still light, but
You know, your kid's gotta go home? That's not computing. If you close,
well, I could change the time, but maybe when the lights go out in the parks. But they usually go to about 10 o'clock anyway.
Yep.
Maybe we could change the lighting time.
oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. That does make sense, thank you.
All right.
I just thought you meant chase all the kids off the
No,
merry-go-round.
I didn't mean it by that way.
And then they gotta go sit under the pavilion with their children.
I know.
Thank you, Mr. Glassick.
First off, Pat, thank you again for your service for the farmer's market. Congratulations on the kickoff event. The K Builders, again, I just think that we have warehouses coming in, we have builders coming in, putting houses in here. The roadways aren't getting backed up. We need to hold these people more accountable for their services, just like macadaming, finishing the macadam roads and stuff and things, and we talked about this last thing. So I'm not trying to say that we have to bill them with everything, but I still really believe that we need to be more accountable, or holding them more accountable, that are coming in our boroughs to build and make money on developments, warehouses, road adjustments, and we get stuck with the foothold, and then people's houses and stuff don't get taken care of properly. And I appreciate you reaching out on our behalf, so thank you for that. But if it comes to that, we need to go after them harder and make sure that we hold them more accountable.
Well, every developer, of course, is subject to an improvements agreement, and this development is still in development.
Yeah.
So
There's
they're still
sections of them that are
subject.
finished.
There are sections that are finished, and there are sections that are unfinished, so they remain holden to their improvements agreement.
And what is our bond amount that we hold or require for a bond? Leroy, do you know offhand?
There's an improvements agreement amount that they put up in the beginning, and as they go along, they request that it be reduced, and some of the money, we still have money.
It's
And-
not a standard amount, it's always based on projections for a
Okay.
particular project.
Okay, good to know. So it does vary, and we had it looked at that amount on a regular basis, or at least biannually? Or?
The last time that we probably addressed that concern was when they made a request for some of the money to be returned, and at the time, there was no reason not to. But with these developments, and there are others that probably the solicitor would rather not discuss, that we are looking into. And, we still have some of their,
Well, and that's just going forward that we, because we do have a lot of development still going around our whole borough, and that we need to make these a larger bond or longer time frame or for amount of improvements, because it doesn't mean that it just finishes up and then everything's perfect, but 2 years later, the road starts sinking or the concrete starts sinking, and then it comes back to, on the borough's dollar.
see, that development is not like the one to the south of Fuller Drive where they have a home association that takes care of the sewer, the streets, the garbage, not the garbage collection, but they take care of themselves. That one, eventually, they will plan to provide a deed of dedication for the storm sewer system, sanitary sewer system, and the roads. At that time, we would ordain the roads, add them to our liquid fuels list. But until they are
Dedicated.
dedicated, they still belong to the developer.
Maybe you can answer this question. How many delinquent refuge accounts do we still looking at? I know it was in
The number
report.
right off the top of my head, I do not know, but it's normally at this time of the year, it's somewhere between 250 and 300.
Delinquent?
Out of 4,000.
Wow. That's still a lot of money,
Yes, it is.
so, okay. Nathan, congratulations again. Thank you for doing that for our borough and stepping up as a Boy Scout Eagle thing. I think that's great. Ordinance. Great summer help. I think the list that you brought in, Leroy, was great for the pool. Are some of those, again, longer term, or are we still gonna cut the pool and close it early?
Right now, I'm thinking about the 24th of August, as long as we have enough people. Because that last week of August, I believe the school opens up. Yeah, right here, we got a nodding head. You know, so that by that time, the kids are ready for a little time off and to hoot and holler a little.
Yeah, but it's nice, it would be nice to keep that pool open, you know, through Labor Day if we could, and that's what I'm asking, you know, if we have the ability to request from these kids already that are on and hired, you know, maybe
Once-
make it a little more incentive for them. Can you stay longer for at least a weekend or something like that at the end?
We can examine that once there's gonna be a staff meeting during the last week of May, which I always attend. I'll see
Okay.
what I can
That would be nice.
wrap together.
See if we can just do some kind of incentives to keep the pool open, maybe on the weekend for Labor Day weekend or something like that would be nice for our residents. And lastly, congrats, Mitro and Andrew, for the, you know, supervisor role. Thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Donahue?
Thank you. Congratulations to everybody tonight. Nathan, Mitro, Andrew, you're not here. I'll see you later. I'll congratulate you then. Leroy, can we have possibly at least no parking signs on Vienna Street? There's only one on the north end. Used to be 3. They went missing. I don't know if people removed them or when UGI did their work, they removed them and never put them up. If we can have one at the south end in front of 1344 and like one in the middle between 1352 and 1354. Because neighbors are complaining that residents there are parking there for hours on end and they don't see the no parking sign at the
Was
other
that
end.
on the west side?
Yes. Yeah, there's only one no parking sign. It's right at the corner of Zapp and Vienna. The other ones are all missing that used to be there.
I'll check the records, see if there's anything on, you know,
Yeah, I
on
thought
the
there used
books.
to be 2 other ones on there, but like I said, they went missing. I don't know how, but.
Well, UGI was in there, there's somebody's bar room right now.
Let's see, the landscape business on Canal Street, there's a manhole there. It's like down 2 inches. Can we have somebody put like a 1-inch riser on it so it's not so?
Where's that?
In front of the landscape business on, is that the 2100
Oh, up at
block?
the end.
Yeah, on Canal.
That whole intersection's gonna get redone when they do the bridge.
Oh, that far down?
Yeah, it's gonna be extremely different.
Okay,
Let's see what happens.
okay.
I mean, if it becomes a concern, we'll throw something in there.
Yeah, because like I said, it's down like that far. So, okay. Last but not least, this is like beating a dead horse here. 107, 109 Lawbach Avenue. He has been MIA for about the last month down there now.
The grass is about 2 feet high. There's trash all over it. He's got a water line in the sidewalk ripped apart. You can't walk down the sidewalk, you gotta walk out in the street. He's got a pile of branches there that are about the size of 2 small sedans. I have 3 pictures here if you would need to see them, that I took yesterday.
I'll get this to Keith.
Cause I know he's been cited 9 other times for a total of like $4,200, so.
Yeah, he still owes us money.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
I'll give it to Keith.
okay.
He
Thank you.
knows how to get a hold of him.
Yeah, I know. So I figured give him a visit. So that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Almond?
Thank you. Thank you, Nathan, for your efforts in beautifying our park area. We appreciate that. And congratulations, Mitro and Andrew, if you're out there listening, as our new crew chiefs. And I too, Leroy, was happy to see the long list of the interested parties to support our summer pool days. Thank you for that. Yay. End of report.
Well, thank you. Mason?
Thank you. I just had a question with the Tuesday, May 21st, on if it would just be Susan Wild's team at the event or whether she would be there herself, as I know it's an election year. I'm not sure if you can.
What? Start over again.
Okay. I just had a question for Tuesday, May 21st, on whether Susan Wild would be there or whether it would just be her team, as I know it's a re-election year.
The first email I got said that her staff would be there. But in talking with the mayor, he said that she was going to be there.
That's what my understanding was.
What do you got to lose?
And then
she's very personable. I met her when the mayor had her at the museum. It might be worth the trip. If not, find something to complain about or congratulate her for. Her staff, she has some very good people on her staff. Megan Betts is very approachable, and she's always willing to listen. Tell her Leroy sent you.
Bring your resume.
That might get you in trouble, Mason.
That'll get you in trouble.
Then other than that, I just wanted to say I look forward to being able to help out around the office here during the summer. End of
Thank you.
report.
Ms. Holden?
My turn. Mason, you're breaking your mother's heart. I want to say that on the record. She's not in the audience today, but, you know, I understand you got to do what you got to do to move forward in this world, right, young man? Congratulations, Mitro. Congratulations to Andrew. Everybody did a very fine interview. I was lucky enough to be a part of those interviews. And congratulations to you. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like down there. It's certainly going to add and enhance the loveliness of our parks down there. Leroy, I too have a question about the extent of the damage. Like, is this, do we have a number?
Not yet. It can be fixed. It's part of that big contraption that's over there,
okay.
and it's the area that you stand on and
Okay.
it rocks back and forth.
Yep.
Well, it seems like everybody that was there stood on the one corner, and there's a metal plate in there that was bent down.
Okay.
We will fix it, but it's just unfortunate that it happened.
That is unfortunate. Leading to my next question, and this is an old one that I'm going to bring back. Where are we at with the grants for the security cameras at some of the park properties?
Those we are preparing bid specifications on.
We're still at that stage, though, with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the pickleball court down the Alliance? Somebody reached out to me and asked me, and I know that we had to improve the 26th Street basketball court, and that took precedence for the borough workers to fix last summer, but are we going to move forward with that court this summer?
Probably not this year.
Not this year either? Okay. I would like to also, hopefully I can do this, thank the NAA for the contribution they did provide to our rec center to allow us to make some, not us, but for Jason and Leroy to work together in terms of doing some enhancement to some of the equipment down at the rec center. So I certainly appreciate that. When I approached some individuals, they were very open to that contribution and gave that up wholeheartedly. But we also do a lot for the NAA with allowing them to use our facility. So it's a nice exchange there. How about The other thing is actually just a question, in driving around in, kind of in the first ward, I'm seeing a lot of high grass. Can you please tell me again, at what point, code can kind of step in for the level of grass for some of the people
We
in the
have
community?
established, well, the dates that we enforce it are between May 1st
Right.
and November 1st. And we have established 6 inches or more as questionable
Okay, so,
or unacceptable, I'd say.
so at this point, then, any citizen can express their concern in
Yeah, all
regard
you
to
gotta do-
property or,
Send us an email, send us give us a
Give
telephone
us a call,
call,
okay.
stop in, knock on the door, and say, 123 any street, the weeds are coming out of the windows, and we'll send Keith up.
good, because unfortunately, I am sadly seeing quite a bit of that up in our area, and it, it's not fair for the neighbors that are sitting next door to some of those properties and looking at grass that's 8-9 inches high already, and with weeds and everything. So thank you for that information, and I believe that's, I do have one last question. In an email we received in regard to what's happening down at the wastewater treatment plant and the study that's going on, it said that they're gonna do a presentation for the water authority. Could they do a presentation for Borough Council too, who should possibly hear? Or could we do it as one large party?
If they're going to do something for the water authority, that would be marvelous. But they set up on Tuesday, and I believe today was the last day of the demo at our treatment plant.
So,
It's an amazing little tool that they have there.
right, and we heard at Water Authority some incredible results that really, again, environmentally and just efficiency and hauling away of sludge, which is something I know both Mr. Glassick and I are so fond of speaking of. We love our sludge.
It rolls downhill, doesn't it?
Along with everything else. But it would be, just a couple of minutes, go ahead, Ron wants
If I
to-
may interject.
Absolutely.
I've actually requested that we put a cost analysis and they come and present it both to the water and to the sewer plant at the same time to show what we pay for now to take the water out of the sludge. And you basically take sludge and turn it down to dryness, almost like a sand. And you can imagine how much water weighs, and now you're taking it down to just light sand. It is a lot different in the amount of money that you're gonna spend on that sludge. The machine's not cheap. But when they present it on, not only does it not need manual labor to watch it 24/7 or whenever you run the belt press, now it can run automatically. So you're not only saving labor, you're saving cost of sludge removal,
And-
which at the end can pay for itself in a short amount of time.
So what would be the return on investment on that?
We don't know that yet until we have the
No.
numbers of what the equipment is.
I asked how much, at ballpark, how much this setup cost, and of course, they didn't know.
But it's a possibility of one piece of equipment that will move our borough forward in terms of our
absolutely.
improvement of our sewer facility. So
I
yes, it's
was-
probably gonna be a pricey piece of the upgrade, but a very necessary part of the upgrade.
I was impressed.
Yeah, if we can share that, the belt press that does a lot of the work now, how old that is. And when that breaks down, and I don't profess to know the water, Mr. Glassick knows, but, there's not even equipment anymore to fix that belt press. It's so old, our employees are doing their best to piece that all together and keep it functioning, and we're appreciative of that until we can come up with something different. But it's certainly time to add this to our lookies at the upgrades for that plant. So that's my little piece. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Stone?
Yes, is there an ordinance for that 6 inches or higher grass?
Pardon me?
Is there an ordinance for that,
For what?
for the 6 inches or higher? Or is that just an
The
arbitrary number?
International Property Maintenance Code states in their enforcement section that the community would set the standard, and that was set some long time ago.
Yeah, so you adopted the property maintenance code, and certain sections of it require the municipality to make certain determinations, and that's set forth in your ordinance.
Okay, great.
Is that in their yard or on the sidewalks?
On their property.
Yeah.
Anywhere on the property.
Anywhere on the
Sorry.
property.
Okay, great. Congratulations, is it my time yet? Or I'm asking
Yes,
for a friend.
yes,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
yes, ma'am,
No,
yes, sir.
I interrupted you, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
was
no,
just
no,
gonna-
that's
I was
okay.
just gonna build on that and ask, is there anything on our website regarding the dates and also the height of the weeds and grass?
Yeah, all the ordinances are online for people to see. All the E-codes, they can
Mhm.
click on and go through everything.
Thanks. Sorry, Travis.
No, that's fine, thank you. Congratulations, Mitro, and Andrew, crew chiefs, well deserved, honestly. I wanna commend Nathan Panning for taking on that, quite a project, for the canal parking, for the Scout project. So we thank you for taking care of that, and whatever help that we can provide for you, we will certainly do that. I wanna read real quick the Northampton Borough Police Department activity report for the month of April. For the month of April, we had 13 traffic citations, 3 non-traffic citations, 147 parking tickets, and 13 total arrests for the month of April. That's it, end of my report.
Thank you. Mr. Hall?
I'm gonna go back, because I'm gonna be a little long-winded like Tony, so. Yeah, congratulations to, it's a challenge just to getting to Eagle Scout. Congratulations to you, Mitro, and Andrew, congrats also. The chief has been in the alley, with some of his men slowing down the traffic, which was brought up last week with the gentleman there. We haven't had a speed bump issue, but it's a day-by-day thing. It depends on the weather, it depends how long they wanna sit out in traffic on 329, as for cutting through there. While I'm in the neighborhood, I did have to call, Jerry Sorensitz and had him, make aware of that the issue on the alley there with the business was going again one day last week. I wanna say it was Monday or Tuesday. It was Tuesday, the night we had planning commission was Wednesday. I don't think he got there in the time that they were, cause they rolled everything back, but they had it all stripped down. They're working out in the alley, the parts are out flying in the, but, as to whether they're running a business or not, I'm not the one to say. Somebody's just gotta watch that more steady. I'm not there 24/7 to watch, and or, I'm the neighbor. I don't wanna be the one there that they're, I gotta live next to them, so I gotta rely on somebody else. And I did was he aware of this situation? He was, and I spoke with Leroy as well, so I guess they're keeping an eye on it. Main Street North, it's starting to get back to like it was before. It really irks me, and Pazinski's probably rolling over in his grave. When I went down, or came home, 1:45 yesterday, and between Dunkin' Donuts and Sheetz, or the bridge above Dunkin' Donuts and Sheetz, they milled that road down and repaved it, a road that they only paved a year ago. And we have a state road likewise in our borough, and we had to kiss their butt to come up, and they did the little bit of patchwork that they did. It was mind-blowing when I went up there and saw, and they literally milled down the 3 lanes and the turn lanes and everything in that stretch, all the way up to Eagle Point, and repaved that project. I don't know why, I can't fathom why.
Was that UGI or PennDOT? Who'd you say it was?
It's a state highway. I
So-
don't know who was in there and
Yeah.
did it. They came in and repaved, and milled down and repaved the whole road.
Aren't they saying, though, that it's UGI that tore up our streets?
No,
He's talking
no.
about-
No, I'm talking about Main Street North.
Talking about the
then.
upper street, and
that's
UGI
why you're
wasn't
not
even,
getting the
UGI wasn't even
service.
in there. UGI didn't even do any work up there,
Okay.
so, that's that. And walking the dog and walking in the neighborhood, just in my neighborhood, it is very hard to walk up some of these streets, and the bushes hang out to me,
Right.
that you gotta walk up the curb or around cars. How do we, other than giving addresses, or do we have somebody who's driving around looking at somebody? There's some of them on Washington Avenue and like the 2200 block, 2100 block are terrible. And others, I think that everybody goes, anybody has pets, or just walking kids, grandkids, or the dog, that you have to walk out in the street to do this. I mean, it's not just a couple inches. I mean, there's a spot on the 2100 block, just below BBM, where you have to walk out. You can't even walk on the sidewalk. So, do I have to personally make a list of that, or is that part of what Keith's going around and doing his checks?
We have 29 miles of street
I
in
understand
this
that.
town.
I understand that.
I got it. It would be okay for you to make a list, email it to the code officer.
I mean, I don't walk every street in the town, so I gotta have
No,
help here.
when you see a violation, it is not plausible for, well, first of all, I've always been told that code shouldn't drive around looking and, for stuff, because in the meantime, it looks like they're harassing people. So, on a complaint by complaint, they operate on complaint, Kenny. I personally, I know Mrs. Almond does it, we have a list, we email it. And we become the complainant. So, it's not really good for code to start picking on people.
If you have pictures, Kenny, it helps, so just send pictures and the address.
Okay. I'm gonna need more help. I don't walk every street in town, so it's not just
Right.
the streets that I walk or I'm in. It happens in the third ward, it happens in the first ward, it happens
Right.
in the second ward.
And they should do the
So
same.
I'm gonna ask for a little bit of help here, because I'm not likewise going around paying and looking for the thing. So, I mean, I hear other complaints, but I'm not, somebody else is gonna have to help me.
But there are 8 of us,
These
2 of us
so-called
per
complaints.
ward, Ken.
Exactly.
So, same thing. If you see something, email code. You do it. To put the onus on yourself. It's
And-
okay.
I think that's it. I yield back the balance of my time to the chair.
Yeah, you got it. Good job.
You got a question, Mr. Glassick? You got that look.
I do have a challenge for every councilman. I guess that since we can't ask the code enforcer to do this, well, I guess the council people will go around and write lists of these names down.
That's not bad.
Just out of curiosity.
And we'll
would that
bring
not be
Nobody
also
said you
harassment?
can't ask the code officer.
All the council
No.
If
people
you
are
want the
harassing
code
neighbors.
officer to go out on a Monday morning and
Yeah.
start walking around town looking for overhanging shrubs, then just tell me that. And then we're gonna have to hire about 3 more code officers. If you see something that's bad, all you gotta do is let the office know. We are not proactive on this stuff. We're more reactive. We
Reactive.
don't have the personnel to be out knocking on everybody's door saying, oh, trim your shrubs here, they hang out over the sidewalk.
It's the old, if you see something, say
Yeah,
something.
that wasn't what I was bringing up.
Well, that's the,
That's not the way I presented it. I wanted to make sure if it just had to be done like we're saying. I was just bringing it out there, not saying that somebody has to be driving around. If you took it that way, then that wasn't how it was meant.
We can't harass people.
that's not the point.
That is not the point.
It's the point.
It's
If
about-
I got a problem, I address it.
That's right. Very good.
But generally, in municipalities, those things do operate on, they're complaint based, so. if
They're
you-
what?
If you, they're complaint based, so if you see something, please report it, make it known, and then,
That's it. Question
Action
answered. I
will be
didn't mean
taken.
it to start a thing. I just made a speech.
Well, how about if we just let the public know this is an issue and trust them to do the right thing?
We've been doing
Instead of
that since,
enforcing it.
we've been doing
Well-
that since May, or since
It's start of a new,
March.
it's start of a new season. Folks out there, trim your weeds, trim your plants, and let's all have a nice, beautiful town. Please, thank you.
Okay. Are you okay? Go ahead.
Absolutely. Every once in a while, you gotta vent. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. And as I sit here thinking about what I just did and said, I was rude, and I apologize. But it's not an easy thing. I did code work, and I know what's involved. And the best way to attack it is to have a list and say, okay, I'm gonna go out and take some pictures. I have all of these places that people have said, have problems. So I went out and I took pictures, I sent letters, and we addressed them one at a time. There, you know, congratulations to the crew chiefs, Nathan, come and see me, we'll talk. I'm not like this all the time. Well, sometimes I am. But you're good, you're good people. We'll get you started and we'll get you on your way. Aside from that, nah, I'm done.
Okay.
If I may, on behalf of our code officers today, they do an excellent job. I mean,
Thank you.
when I sent a complaint in, they'll let me know the
That
next
wasn't
day.
what I was
No,
getting
I know,
at. That,
I know, I just want
that was all
everybody to
taken
know,
out of
yeah.
context. I apologize.
It's nothing against you, Councilman Hall.
That's not who I'm talking to or about.
Can I get a motion to pay the bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills as
By
submitted.
Mr. Glassick. Do you have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Donahue. Question?
I have a question.
Okay.
The Bortech Industries, the sewer camera, is that paying for one that we got, or rental?
I'm sorry, where are
Oh,
you?
you're gonna ask me. It was on the first page. Now you're gonna expect me to be that computer savvy, are you? It's not gonna be here.
Sewer camera.
I have to,
Vortex.
my file.
No, that was repairs of the one that we had.
Repairs one there, okay. And,
Yeah, $812.85.
yes, yeah. And how about, what is Fulcrum Biometrics for live scan support? Also on the first page. I'm finding it here, hold on, it's finally coming up.
Who's the vendor?
I'm looking, no wait. It was Fulcrum Biometrics. It was on page 2, about the 4th one down. It said live scan support.
Okay, Fulcrum Biometrics. 600, is that
Yeah,
the one?
correct, yes.
Oh, I believe that was for police department.
Okay, okay. Those were just my 2 questions. Those were kind of new names for me. Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. May I have a motion for council to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Motion being made by Mr. Stone,
Second?
second by Mr. Knopf. Question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We're adjourned.